Welcome to the dedication and naming ceremony of the Library, English and Arts Building on our beloved Bismarck State College campus. My name is Rebecca Collins, and I am standing in for President Doug Jensen, who regretfully cannot be here with us today due to a death in his family. Today we gather to pay tribute to a visionary leader whose dedication has helped shape our institution. It is with great pride and honor that we bestow upon this building the name of Bismarck State College's 6th president. As we celebrate this significant milestone, let us reflect on how Dr. Larry Skogen's commitment to the arts and humanities enriches all who walk through these halls. As we continue to commemorate this special occasion, it is my pleasure to introduce Carrie Knudsen, the BSc Vice President for College Advancement and Executive Director of the Foundation. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Well, good afternoon. Of course, for Larry, it's nice and sunny, right? Gray all morning, but when Larry shows up, the sun comes out. Great to see you all here today. So I have the pleasure of speaking today about Dr. Larry C. Skogen, also known as just Larry. Larry hired me soon after he arrived at BSc in 2007, and then he joined the BSc Foundation Board when he retired in 2020. So I'm still working for Larry after all these years. Almost 17 years that I've been really working for him. As I thought about Larry's career at BSc and the naming of this building in honor of him, I decided I would relate it to his first name, so Larry. Well, what does L stand for? L stands for library, duh, right? That'd be first on our list today. Thanks, Marlene. That's her favorite building, right at the center of campus. So as a historian, it was likely difficult for Larry to let go of the old library. It was built in 1968, but he knew it was time for a new modern library that would accommodate our growing student population and have the latest and greatest technology. And he wanted an environment that was more welcoming to the community and to our students. His love for research, writing, and the humanities carried on into his retirement, as he often utilized BSC's library while researching and writing of his 2 new books, on sale on Amazon, right? A would stand for academics. Larry's passion for the academic areas became present during his time as president. He had a vision for BSc to become North Dakota's polytechnic institution. And he was able to get State Board of Higher Ed approval and make sure that we were set up for our long-term vision of being a polytechnic. Our academic programming has continued to thrive and expand under this new mission. So R, the first R, resourceful. Larry was instrumental in working with North Dakota legislators to secure funding for this building, in addition to getting funding for several other projects on campus, notably the Health Sciences Facility, and also completed the 4th floor of the Energy Center. And he figured out ways to leverage resources and partner. And one of the big partnering projects was building the Aquatic Center with the Parks and Rec Division. And in addition, he also was able to find funding for the Student Union expansion. So definitely Larry's presence was known here at BSc while we were in quite a big building mode, and thanks to our North Dakota legislators, we were able to get funding for the majority of those projects. The other R is for running. Larry was often seen running around campus. Well, actually, it was probably more walking, but I couldn't come up with anything else for the last R. Larry truly embraced management by walking around. He was very visible on campus. He walked everywhere, and most of the time, his assistant, Debbie Van Berkom, had a hard time tracking him down. Now we could probably put some kind of a tracker in your pocket and keep up with you, but back then we didn't have that technology. Larry enjoyed visiting with students and employees throughout the campus, and he really wanted to know how things were going, not just hearing from his management, but actually talking to the students and all the people throughout the campus. So finally, why? Y is for yellow. For those of you that worked with Larry, he was known to wear yellow and very colorful jackets. And it was always helpful when he had these bright colors on, especially the yellow one. We could see him coming into our building or office area, and we could alert everybody, Larry's on the loose again. Larry's running around campus. But his bright personality and his optimism complemented his clothing. Larry engaged with so many people outside of BSC, and he was very visible in the community, especially with his bright, colorful clothing. And he was always a great advocate for BSC, and he still is. And he's also proud to call North Dakota home. So congratulations, Larry. Thanks for being a good sport and having a sense of humor. I appreciate all that you did while you were here as president, and I also appreciate the way you continue to give back through your involvement on the BSC Foundation Board and supporting our employees and students and the community, making sure we're set up to be successful for the long run. So thank you, Larry, and congratulations. The next speaker on the agenda is Dr. Dan Langang, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Please join me in welcoming Dan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. As we really celebrate this naming ceremony, and of course Larry, we have an opportunity to really kind of reflect, and that's what all today is all about. It's great to see so many BSC family and friends here today, so many back on campus, and it's just, it's heartwarming to see that, because I think the two things that I want to leave you all with in terms of my comments today are really inspiration and legacy. I think the legacy is loud and clear with this gathering today. Larry's legacy at Bismarck State College and what he's done to really mold not only this facility, but the campus and where we are today. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to be here for this special day and to really celebrate together as BSC family, truly family. The other one is inspiration. And I think when I think of inspiration, when I think of my time at BSC, and I don't know what happened, first of all, I should have spelled this out like Carrie, but I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm just a simple mathematician, right? So inspiration, when I started at BSC in fall of 2000, and honestly, I woke up and I'm like, now I'm one of the old people here, and it's just like, how did that happen, right? But back in fall of 2000, when I started, I was teaching mathematics. Michael McCormick, one of our faculty members, was very inspirational for me. He set me on a course for how I wanted to do my work in the classroom, how I interacted with students, and that's what inspired me to do more, to really connect with this community. And that was almost immediate when I started back in 2000. Larry was hired a few years later after that as president of Bismarck State College. And at that time, I got to see a president, and the way he led was inspirational. It was a change. It was, for us, what we needed at that time, but also in terms of what he brought to the table as a leader for the college. It was inspiring to me. And so that's what directed me to continue with my PhD work and to pursue more of an administrative role. And it really is because of Larry's leadership that kind of led me to do that. Although it took me a few years to see that, Larry. It wasn't immediate, but I did pursue that path. And I think, to me, you know, as I reflect on where I am, and again, able to continue to serve BSC, it really is grounded in your work and your passion. When you look at the impact on our campus, as I've said before, a facility like this and the placement of it is a loud example to this community that BSC is here to serve. Larry was that person to serve. It is just truly remarkable that we're able to celebrate these two things together with a facility like this, and then also a person like Larry is. So I am deeply thankful for how you've inspired me to move me in my career. But I think the loudness of this event today and having your name on this facility is really testament to your impact to the BSC community. So Larry, I want to thank you again from all of us at BSC. And I know just being able to continue to work with you, it is a blessing and will continue to be so. So I'll keep this really short. So I believe, Becky, you're back up at the podium. I want to thank you all for letting me share a few words today, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day.
I wholeheartedly agree that Larry has been an inspiration, and even the plane agrees. You have been an absolute inspiration to me and everybody here at Bismarck State College, and we cannot say enough about that, Larry. Now, as far as the dress goes, Carrie, it was always Larry's socks that was so interesting all the time. If you ever looked at his socks, they not only matched, but they always had unique patterns or characters on them. And so that's one of the things I will always cherish about your dress is, his socks were always top notch. But that kidding aside, today marks a significant moment in BSC history as we gather to honor a distinguished leader whose impact continues to echo through our institution. It is with great pride and respect that we officially dedicate the Library, English, and Arts building on our campus to BSC President Emeritus Dr. Larry C. Skogen. Dr. Skogen's tenure at BSC from 2007 to 2020 stands as a testament to his dedication to academic excellence and the advancement of the arts and humanities. Throughout his presidency, Dr. Skogen exhibited a profound commitment to fostering a culture of learning. He recognized the pivotal role that a modern library plays in enriching the educational experience, and under his visionary leadership, BSC thrived as a hub of intellectual and creative exploration for all students. Even in retirement, Dr. Skogen remains a steadfast advocate for Bismarck State College, continuing his scholarly pursuits and champion the arts. His legacy serves as an inspiration to all of us, reminding us of the transformative power of education and the significant value of the arts. As we name this building in his honor, we continue to commit to upholding Dr. Skogen's legacy of excellence, innovation, and service to the community. May this building stand as a symbol of his lasting impact on BSC and as a beacon of inspiration in the heart of our campus. So without further ado, I present to you Bismarck State College Larry C. Skogen Hall. At this time, I would like to invite BSC President Emeritus Dr. Larry Skogen to the podium.
Wow. I certainly thank all of you for being here today. And I was a little concerned yesterday with rain, how that would, if it rained today, how some historian would think about this day. That historian would say, they dedicated a building to Larry Skogen and the sky wept. So I'm thankful the sky is not weeping today. I will freely admit to you guys that I was thinking about cutting my hair and shaving for today. And as I thought about it, I was thinking about when all this started. And this all started in 2020 with COVID. And so Charlotte said to me one time, "Have you ever had a beard?" I said, "No." And she said, "Well, you might like it." Well, I like it. So I did the beard, and the gal that cuts my hair said, have you ever thought about growing your hair out? I guess I wasn't tipping enough. So I said, okay, well, I'll try to grow my hair out. So I grew a beard and grew my hair out. And then I was thinking about the other things that happened during COVID. I retired. There were like 12 of us at my retirement. So it's nice to see such a nice crowd here today. But I retired, and then I really got into doing my research and writing, which I'm really enjoying. And so I've been doing that for the last 4 years. So then when I started thinking about shaving and cutting my hair, I thought, okay, all this happened in COVID, so I retired. I'm not coming out of retirement. I'm not going to stop researching. I'm not going to cut my hair and shave. So that sort of settled it right there for me. So you got me as you got me. And speaking of my retirement, I almost thought of pulling out my retirement speech and giving that today because so few heard it that time. And so those of you that did hear it, if you didn't, I'm sure that you can find it on YouTube or something. And I thanked a lot of people that day. I thanked our local legislators. I thanked my family. I thanked those I love. I thanked the employees. I thanked the governors. I thanked everybody. So I thank all of them again, and would ask that if you didn't see that speech, find it and see all the people that I thank, because again today I thank all of those folks. So I've received a lot of comments over the last few days about how deserving this recognition is. And I want to tell you that when I see that name up there, it's not the same as what other people might see. Because when people say, well, your recognition for great service that you did to the college, what I see is an administration from 2007 to 2020. I wasn't teaching the classes. I wasn't cleaning the halls. I wasn't cutting the grass. I wasn't teaching nursing. I wasn't teaching math. I wasn't making sure everybody got paid, although that was pretty nice. There's just a host of things that I wasn't doing that people are saying, wow, everything went so well, so we're recognizing you for that. Well, for me, what this says is those of you that served with me from 2007 to 2020, that this is the recognition. Because I realize that the president is a public face. I get that. But that name up there doesn't mean that I did all the things that happen at BSC. I mean, Dave Clark kept us in the black, mostly. So a lot of people contributed in a lot of different levels. And so it's really to the entire team that served from 2007 to 2020 that's being recognized with this dedication today, and I thank all of you for that. When we started talking about the need for a new library, and some of you will remember that if you sat in a chair with rollers on it in the old library, you rolled towards the bowl, okay? The building was sloughing down, and we needed to get a new library. So I was at a State Board of Higher Ed meeting one time, and another president got up and was pitching that campus needed a new library, and the president of the State Board of Higher Ed said, I have no interest in libraries. And I came back and I told Marlene, we're not building a new library. We're building a learning commons, and after it's built, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But to get it through the board and to get the funding, it's a learning commons. And as it turns out, it's a library and a learning commons. That's what we ended up with. So that worked out. I will also say about the art department. When I interviewed for a job as a deputy superintendent, it was called, it's a vice president position, deputy superintendent of the New Mexico Military Institute in New Mexico. I was going to say Roswell, New Mexico, and everybody goes, did you see any aliens? I don't know, they're pretty sneaky. So nevertheless, when I interviewed there, I thought, man, this art department they really needed a new art department. because it was just makeshift kind of environment. It wasn't a real art department. It was an art department, but it wasn't built to be an art department. And then when I interviewed up here, I walked through the art department, and guess what? It was a dormitory that was being used for an art department. It wasn't built for an art department. So in New Mexico, we worked with the legislature there, and we got funding, and we completely revamped that facility and made sure that it was built for an art department. And then I came up here, and we worked with our local legislators, and we ended up with an art department up here on the second floor. And I'm very proud of the fact that I can say that I've been administrator at 2 institutions, and we have new art department facilities of both of those. I don't know how many can say that, but so I appreciate the emphasis on the arts. I want to take just a little bit to talk about the Polytechnic, which has been mentioned a couple times. So when I got here to North Dakota, and I felt so fortunate every day to be the president of this wonderful institution, we started having internal conversations about how do we make BSC separate from the crowd, because there's 11 institutions. How do we get it separated from the crowd? And so we started talking, and Dave Clark and Dan Langang and I were having internal conversations, and we went to Arizona State, and we visited the Polytechnic down there. Morgan Olson, who's a graduate of Bismarck State College, is the vice president down there, Ginny's brother-in-law. And he set up so we could go visit that Polytechnic. And Dan and I went to Stout, Flint, Michigan, and visited that Polytechnic. And we thought, you know, we can make it stand out by being a Polytechnic. But there was more to that than just changing the name. It's because, and I fervently believe this, and that's one of the reasons that we push so hard with the board. And I saw Chancellor Hagritz here. Here he is back there. You know, I went to Chancellor Hagritz and I said, we got to become a Polytechnic, and I don't know how to do it. And he said, well, put it together, let's talk. And we put packages together, and we talked separately to some folks, and then he finally carried it to the board. And thank you, sir, for doing that. It changed the whole face of Bismarck State College by being North Dakota's Polytechnic. But again, there's more to it than just a name change. Bismarck State College is not a trade school. Oh, you can come here for trades, and we do a marvelous job of that, but it's not a trade school. Bismarck State College is not a tech school. You can come here for technology, amazing technology here, right? I mean, world-class technology, and students can come here for technical training. Or on the other hand, they can come here and get transfer credit, and they can go and become doctors or lawyers, go to UND, go to NDSU, go to Dickinson State, like Secretary and I did, and some others in the audience, I'm sure. You know, they can transfer. So Bismarck State College does a whole bunch of those things. And by having a facility like this that celebrates the humanities and the arts and the library and all of that, we are demonstrating that Bismarck State College, not a trade school, not a tech school, an institution of higher learning. That's what Bismarck State College is. And this building is a symbol of that. And I believe the humanities are an integral, important part of making better people. So students can come to us to get a trade, to you. They can come to Bismarck State College to get a trade, and they're going to be exposed to the humanities. They can come to get a technical degree, and they'll be exposed to the humanities, okay? So in my heart of hearts, I believe that by being North Dakota's Polytechnic, Bismarck State College has been set aside, not only within the state, but within the region, as being a very specific kind of institution of higher learning that values the humanities, values the arts, and that those are all an integral part of an education, whether it's a trade education, a tech education, a transfer education, or a Bachelor of Applied Science in a particular area, that it's all wrapped together with that. So, I thank you all very much for being here today. As you look up there, all of you, I want you to, when you see the name on this building, I want you to think like I think. Boy, that was one hell of a team we had. Thank you.
That was awesome, Larry. It's just a testament to your inspiration and what you mean to all of us. When I look at this building, I will still always think of you, even though I did get the benefit and the blessing to serve with you. So Dr. Skogen, thank you for allowing us this opportunity to honor your great contributions to our institution. On behalf of our BSC community, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to you. And as a token of our appreciation for your leadership, your vision, and your passion for education, we would also like to present you with this keepsake. You want to take a picture? To all of you joining us today, thank you. This crowd is awesome, and it just shows you, Larry, how much you really mean to all of us. Thank you today for joining us. Your presence has made this occasion truly special. As we conclude, let us carry forward the legacy of excellence and commitment to education that Dr. Skogen embodies. May this hall continue to empower generations of students to achieve their fullest potential. Please join us now for refreshments and take advantage of the opportunity to connect with Dr. Skogen. Thank you.